Hello students, welcome to TSAT classes. Welcome to the sessions on TSPSC Group 1 Mains Exclusive English Medium Series. Friends, today as part of the Group 1 Mains, we are starting a new topic which is part of your paper 3, and that is called your Governance and Public Policy. Governance and Public Policy. Today we will be starting this particular topic. In this particular session, we will discuss the syllabus, the answer writing, and also start with topic 1. As you all know, I am 𝗧𝗧 𝗵𝗃𝗃. I have an experience of teaching Group 1, Group 2 and UPSC since last 8 years, and I deal with Indian polity, society and also your constitution and governance topics. So let's start the class with the governance and public policy. Now let us see the syllabus first. Let us see the syllabus first. You all know this is the overall syllabus of the exam. Group 1 Mains, TSPSC Group 1 Mains. If you look at this syllabus, if you look at this particular syllabus, we have total 6 papers. We have a total of 6 papers. We have a total of 6 papers, where if you look at the paper 3 here, if you look at this paper 3, which is of 150 marks, and this is divided into 3 sections. So each section carries 50 marks, where you have our 150 marks. Indian society is for 50 marks, constitution is for 50 marks, and governance is for 50 marks. Friends, as part of this series, we have already completed constitution topics. We have seen 11 episodes of constitution, where we discussed almost 30 important questions. 30 important questions for Group 1 TSPSC Mains. So today we are starting governance. So governance is again your 50 marks. Total in the governance we will be having 5 questions, right? 5 questions. Generally we are assuming that total paper consists of 15 questions. Each question carries 10 marks. So you have 150 marks. Okay. So here we have 5 questions. So 5 questions will come from 5 different topics of governance topic. Let us see the syllabus of the governance. Yeah. So this is a syllabus of the governance. If you look at the syllabus, topic 3 of paper 3 is divided into 5 chapters. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have 5 particular chapters, where if you look at the chapter 1, in chapter 1 the topic start with something called what is governance and what is good governance. What is governance and what is good governance? What is e-governance and applications and its models of e-governance? Very, very important. These days, the upgradation version of e-governance is m-governance. M-governance. What is e-governance, sir? E-governance is electronic governance. Now, what is m-governance? Mobile governance. M-governance stands for mobile governance. Then we have governance at union level, cabinet secretariat, prime minister office, central secretariat, ministers and departments, constitutional bodies like finance commission, election commission of India, union public service commission, CAG, national human rights commission, this is a non-constitutional body, national commission for SC/ST constitutional bodies, minority and women non-constitutional bodies. We have parliamentary committees, estimates committee, public accounts committee. These 3 are committees on public sector undertakings. These 3 are your financial committees. Financial committees of the parliament. These are the financial committees of the parliament. So this is your topic 1. This is your chapter 1 of the governance and public policy which we have. Now let us see the second chapter. If you look at the second chapter is nothing but your governance at state level and district level. Governance at the union level, we have in your first chapter. Governance at state and district level is your second chapter. Secretariat, directorates, their relationship, district administration, see the role of collector, institutions of rural and urban governance, powers and functions, systems for delivery of services, cooperatives, state finance commission, devolution of the power, financial issues and challenges, developmental corporations of SCs, STs, BCs, minorities, disabled, control over administrative, legislative and executive and judicial control, right. Second point. Now, I wanted to tell you one very important point here, that is, whenever we are preparing for the mains, whenever we are yet to, we have decided to write an answer, right. The first and the foremost thing an aspirant should have is interlinking of the subject. You need to know how to interlink the topics. And interlinking of the topics makes the syllabus easy to complete. For example, whenever we discuss your chapter 1, we interlink the chapter 1 units to chapter 2, so that you will know how to write the answers if a particular question is asked with respect to chapter 2 with interlinking of chapter 1. You should know how to interlink the topics. Let us do our classes in an interlinking way only. Okay, this is just second chapter. Now, if you look at the third chapter, programs, agencies and institutions working for the development of urban and also marginalized areas. People-centered participatory development. People-centered participatory development. See, this is your nothing but committed bureaucracy, committed legislature, poverty alleviation programs, women empowerment and inclusive growth, rights related to health, food security, education, issues and challenges. All these are also very, very important. So, women empowerment, see, poverty alleviation program, see, these topics from poverty till your issues and challenges, this will be also covered in your society topic. See, everything is interlinked. We need to know how to interlink it. This is also linked to your essay. So, this is how you need to read the subject. Now, if you look at the fourth chapter, debates on development and developmental process. See, there is a difference between development and growth. We need to know the difference between development and growth for us to understand what is developmental process. So, developmental process is a different scenario altogether. Development is a measure on the quality of the person. Growth is a measure on the quantity of a person. So, that is the thing here. So, next we will see the state and provisions of the services. State and the market. See, state and the market, very, very important. What is the meaning of state and the market? Your government versus private. Government versus your private administration. Government administration versus private administration. Involvement of civil society based organizations, NGOs, self-help groups, charities and stakes, public-private partnership, corporate social responsibility. Again, important for the exam, corporate social responsibility. Now, we have this fifth chapter, which is very, very important, is your ethics and values in administration. Neutrality of civil servant. See, committed bureaucracy, very important for the exam. Ethics and values in the administration. Neutrality of civil servant. See, there is a political thinker. There is a political thinker by name your Max Weber. So, Max Weber, he gave the theory on bureaucracy, where it talks about the features of bureaucracy, out of which he says bureaucracy should be neutral in two ways. The first one is political neutrality, and the second one is value neutrality. So, both are very, very important. So, we need to look in that perspective as well. The next one we have is political and civil servant relationship, the same thing here. City and charters, gender sensitization, transparency and accountability of administration, out of which prevention of corruption in administration. As part of the prevention of corruption in administration, we have something called Central Vigilance Commission, Central Bureau of Investigation, ACB departments. We also have something called Right to Information Act. See, the topic is very clear. It talks about applications and impact of Right to Information Act. Then we have administrative reforms. So these are the things we need to focus on the chapter 5. So today we will start with chapter 1. Today we will start with chapter 1. This chapter. We will start with chapter 1. Okay. So let us see some introduction. See, whenever you are writing any mains answer, whenever any aspirant is writing any mains answer, you need to concentrate on one particular thing. What is that, sir? There are few things which you should keep in mind while writing an answer. The first one being very important, your time management. The first one being your time management. See, time management plays important role. Why, sir? Why time management plays an important role? What is the reason why time management plays an important role? Because you have a paper consists of 15 questions. Imagine 15 questions. A paper consists of 15 questions. And you need to write these questions in 3 hours of time. That is your 180 minutes. Now the problem here is, for each question on an average, you will get 12 minutes of time. Leave the 2 minutes. Why? 2 minutes is for understanding the question, reading the question, and also processing in the brain. This will take at least 2 minutes, a minimum of 2 minutes. So let us leave the 2 minutes. Now you have only 10 minutes to write an answer. So time management plays a crucial role in writing the answer. This is very, very important. Imagine if the question is lengthy. It's done, over. So to actually make sure you won over the time management, the only thing is practice. The only thing which is required is practice. More practice will lead to good marks. That is what we can say. And the next one is the keywords. What is the meaning of keywords? For every particular answer, we need to write a maximum of 150 to 200 words. Because it is a 10 marker, because we have only 10 minutes of time and there are 15 questions to write, we have 150 to 200 words. We need to write 150 to 200 words. Now the point here is, sir, how can we write 150 to 200 words? How can we concise that? Because I have learned so much on that particular topic where I can actually write 800 to 1000 words. But you are asking me to write only 200 words. This is the challenge, my dear. The challenge is to concise the answer. Sir, how can we concise the answer? When you know the scope of the answer, when you know the limits of the answer. How can we know the scope and limits of the answer? When you understand the keywords. Keywords plays an important role. Keywords plays an important role to understand. Keywords plays an important role to understand the size of the answer. What are these keywords? Keywords are these are the types of the keywords we have. Whenever you look at any question, you have this explain, describe, elaborate, enumerate, identify, justify, elucidate, comment, analyze, discuss, examine. All these are the keywords. These keywords limit the scope of the answer. And make sure you write the answer in 150 to 200 words. Not everything on that particular topic is important. What to write with particular topic is, these keywords are important for you to explain. This is a second thing which you should note. The third one is structure of the answer. Sir, what is the structure of the answer? See, when you take up any question, every question has a structure. You should follow. What does that? The first one will be your introduction. The first one is your introduction. Then you have your subject. Then you have your subject. Then after subject you have your conclusion. Then you have your conclusion. So, subject, introduction, subject and conclusion. These are the three things which are important while writing an answer. So, please follow this. This is one particular thing. The next note, the next one which you should keep in mind is, what is that, sir? Yeah, use of the language. See, examiner while correcting the answer will only see that if you have used a simple language or not. Simple language is important. Use of the simple language is okay. There is no problem if you use simple language. Simple language is fine. That is what you should think. Okay. So, this is your 4 things you should keep in mind. Along with that, you should also keep in mind the keywords which you should actually by heart understand to ensure your answer is limited or your answer scope which you should easily know. Now, let us start the chapter 1, the governance and e-governance and other related governance topics with our first question. Look at the first question on your screen. Yes, this is your first question. Look at the first question. The first question says, what is governance, and explain its modern evolution and salient features. Well, let me start with explaining this. The nation consists of 4 particular components. Nation consists of 4 particular components. What are they, sir? That is your population, that is people. The second one is society, where people are part of. The state or government. And what will the government do? Governance. Governance is nothing but it is a action. It is an action on the social system. Governance is an action on part of the social system done by the state, done by the government. Governance is an action over the part of the social system done by the state. Now, the question is all about explain its modern evolution. Let us see this one by one. Try to understand. The word governance is a Greek word. Derived from the letter called Cubanian. It is nothing but Cubanian. The use of the term governance is nothing but it comes with a broader meaning of involving. It is a broader meaning of involving all activities in a society. All the activities in the society. Governance involves all the activities of the society. The modern usage of the governance can be traced back to your World Bank's reports in 1990s, which were released in 1990s. See, World Bank has actually published a few reports, especially 2 major reports, where it talks about the governance aspects. Let us see what are these reports. The first one is in 1990s it has published the first report by the name Sub-Saharan Africa from crisis to sustainable growth. from crisis to sustainable growth. See, this particular report called the Sub-Saharan Africa from crisis to sustainable growth was published by World Bank in 1989. Was published by World Bank in the year 1989. Was published by World Bank in the year 1989. For the first time, World Bank has started using the word and the concept of governance through this report called Sub-Saharan Africa from crisis to sustainable growth in the year 1989. The second report which is published by the World Bank is, the second major report which is published by the World Bank is very, very important. It is nothing but governance and development. Governance and development. This report is very, very important. This is published in the year 1992. This is published in the year 1992. See, the second report is very important for this purpose. The thing is, in the report Governance and Development, the World Bank has identified certain features of the good governance. The World Bank has identified features of the governance. So, World Bank started stressing on having governance to many countries in the world. So, governance as a modern usage, we trace back it to two reports. The first report is Sub-Saharan Africa from crisis to sustainable growth. Now, in this crisis and sustainable growth, the term governance was first time stressed by the World Bank. And the second one is Governance and Development report published in 1992, where the World Bank has identified certain principles or features of the governance. Now, let us see what are the features of the good governance identified by the World Bank. Let us see what are the features of the good governance as identified by the World Bank. As identified by the World Bank. Right? Very, very important. These points you should definitely write in the answer to any question related to governance. Imagine, okay? Just remember this. What are the features of good governance as given by World Bank? The first one is accountability. The first one is accountability. Accountability. What is the meaning of accountability? Answerable to someone, answerable to the work, answerable to the deeds, answerable to the work someone has already completed. Answerable. Accountability is nothing but answerable. Okay. Look at the second feature. The second feature is freedom of association. Freedom of association and participation. Second feature of the good governance, which is very, very directly linked to democracy. As part of the democracy, there is a freedom of association. A citizen participation is important. Citizen participation and freedom of association is also stressed by Administrative Reforms Commission of India. Very, very important. Article 19 of the Indian Constitution guarantees you to freedom of associate or participate. This is your second feature. Let's see the third feature. Very important. Rule of law. And with the help of rule of law, what you will get? You will have something called independent judiciary. Independent judiciary. Rule of law and independent judiciary. So, what is independent judiciary and rule of law? Legal authority is very much prevalent in a governance state. The state and the components of the state work only on the principles of rules and regulations, laws and customs. So, one of the major features of the rule of law is one of the major features of good governance is rule of law and independent judiciary to protect that law. Independent judiciary to protect that particular law. The fourth one. The fourth feature of the good governance is transparency. Transparency in administration. Transparency in administration. Now, transparency in administration is very, very important. See, transparency in administration ensures less corruption, no red tapeism, no nepotism. Transparency and accountability are key features of the good governance. And those policies and laws associated with accountability and transparency are called sunshine legislations. They are called sunshine legislations. So, this is your fourth feature. Let us see the next feature, the fifth feature called decision making, and also monitoring or evaluation of performance of government. Performance of government. See, very, very important again. Decision making. Decision making is utmost important in a democratic country. See, democracy goes with a rule of law. Rule of law again have the concept of governance. All go hand in hand. So, decision making and monitoring evaluation of performance of the government is again important for the exam. Okay, this is the fifth one. Now, sixth one is efficiency and effectiveness, or economy and efficiency. Efficiency and economy. See, what is the role of the government? The role of the government is the welfare of the people. So, the outcome should be efficient. The welfare of the people must be accurate. There should be no goal displacement. There should be no goal displacement. No goal displacement. No goal displacement. This is a sixth feature. Let us see the next seventh feature of the good governance. What is the seventh feature, sir? Inclusive growth. Inclusive growth. Sir, what is inclusive growth? See, whenever the government is coming up with any law or policy, it has to keep in mind that it includes all the sections of the people. Every section of the people's and their decision should be included while framing a policy. Okay? This is called inclusive growth. The 11th 5-year plan objective, the 11th 5-year plan objective is inclusive growth. Remember this just. Including financial inclusion, economic inclusion, sustainable growth, all these are part of inclusive growth. Okay, this is the seventh feature of the good governance. Now, last one, eighth one. The eighth feature is cooperation between government and civil society. Civil society cooperation, pressure groups, NGOs, media, all these are very important for good governance. Good governance. These are the 8 features identified by the World Bank through a report published in 1992. And it said these are the 8 features which are important for our governance of the country. What are these, sir? Accountability, freedom of association and participation, rule of law and independent judiciary, transparency in administration, decision making and performance evaluation, efficiency and effectiveness, and also we have inclusive growth and cooperation between government and civil society. So this is your chapter 1, the topic on introduction to the governance. I will again see you in our next class with another topics and different questions. Till then, happy learning. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.